Since there aren't really any pro matches to cover right now, I thought I'd make a video of a new Lee Sin build I came across in solo queue. Needless to say, I got destroyed by it, and then I played it a few times on my own and it feels really good. So I figured, why not make a video about it? Let's take a look. Also, 51% of you aren't subscribed. Hit that subscribe button for more educational League content, it really helps out the channel. As a quick side note, this background footage is around low emerald, so I don't want to pull a Night Blue 3 and act like I'm smurfing against challenger players. It's not high elo, these players aren't very good, so obviously the build is going to look very good. Anyways, let's start with the rune setup. Since we're going a much more damage burst style build, First Strike is going to have very high value. So I like to go First Strike, Free Boots, Futures Market, and Cosmic Insight and Inspiration. Red Secondary is optimal to maximize damage output. I like to go Eyeball Collection and Relentless Hunter, but Sudden Impact can also work for a little extra burst. I just think the out of combat move speed is very helpful as jungle in general. Another route you could go is with Electrocute, but First Strike is basically equates to the same damage, and you get free gold for hitting champs, so I think First Strike is optimal here. Now let's start with the itemization. There are several different paths you can end up going, but the core stays the same for the most part. You want to rush into Duskblade first item. Quite frankly, I think this item is super broken. The invulnerability on takedown allows you to get in, one-shot someone with kick, and walk out scot-free. Statistically, it obviously gives Lee Sin the desired damage, and the mythic passive is great for extra ability haste. You can go Eclipse, but it gives 6 less lethality than Duskblade. While the Eclipse shield can be helpful, you need to think about practical translation of the shield. Is it actually being hit or completely chewed through? In the sense that shielding often doesn't have guaranteed value, I prefer the guaranteed escape with Duskblade and Vulnerability. For second item, I like to go Edge of Night for more lethality. Yes, the spell shield won't ever be very useful, but stat-wise this item is very nice for Lee Sin. More damage and a bit of extra health to ensure a Duskblade reset. Now third item is where things can change up a bit. If you want to continue going the damage route, you can build things like Collector or Sorelda's Grudge, which are both great for Lee Sin. However, if you're snowballing and already do tons of damage, you typically want to ensure you're alive to do that damage. So you can end up going things like Black Cleaver or Sterix Gauge that still give good damage but also ensure survivability. Either of these two routes for third and fourth item works and really depends on the game state and whether or not you're super fed on the Lee Sin. Lastly, for fifth item, I think Bloodthirster is really good. The bonus AD is super strong, and while the lifesteal isn't super great for Lee Sin, it just gives him so much damage. Another alternative could be Ravenous Hydra for more ability haste. The Omnivamp is also better than the lifesteal of BT, but your W gives you enough vamp as it is, so keep that in mind. Overall, I found this build very effective in solo queue, and it almost negates Lee Sin's ability to consistently fall off in the mid and late game. Even if you are behind early, at least you can take one with you before you die. As previously mentioned, there are multiple different build options, but the core of Duskblade, Edge of Night, and my preference of Collector is concretely optimal. In combination with First Strike, you'll be one-shotting everyone with this build, and in combination with great survivability from Duskblade and just Lee Sin's kit. If you play this champion, try out this build and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, see you next time.